All right, Brian Turner here with CCS as we continue on this informational series on what does it really take if I want to put up a livestock facility. There's a lot of maybes, what ifs, and I thinks. And I just wanted to take the time as we meet with some of our friends that we work very closely with here at CCS in helping you, the producer, get the right product, the right barn, doing it the right way. So as we've taken a little bit of a journey. We've talked about equip. We've talked about zoning. Very exciting sometimes. But now here's probably the most exciting part, Alan. And by the way, I'm with Alan Kampschnieder. He's Vice President of Client Services and Nutrient Advisors. So Alan, the state and federal permitting process. So when I hear that, I picture standing in line at the DMV, waiting with your number, and then those are hours of my life that I'll never be able to get back. Is it that bad? Do I need to go through all of that? And give me some ideas as far as what are the requirements there?
Sure. It's not really like the DMV, I guess, but that's where we come into play and give the producer peace of mind and time savings. We do all that paperwork for them. We go through, we fill out the application, we develop a nutrient management plan with the client, and all the submittal, the paperwork, the engineering goes through us, and we streamline that process to get it done timely and with the least work possible for the client.
So give me an idea, if as I have, so if you're in business, for an example, you have to put your certificates up on the wall or have them available for display, etc. What does that look like then on the producer level? So I'm running a farming operation, and I'm busy from 6 in the morning till 8 o'clock at night. What are there yearly requirements, monthly reporting? Giving me an idea there.
Sure. Yeah. There's several reporting requirements, and it kind of depends where you lay, I guess. Some people report directly to EPA. Some are required to send reports to the county. Most of it is reporting requirements to the state. For people with NPDS permits, they have an annual report that they submit due March 1. So we just got done with a big slug of them.
Oh, wow.
So we got them done, and then
it's kind of like taxes.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yep. March 1st is their tax deadline for their annual report. So yeah. And I guess that's pretty much annual report's the big one. And then whenever DEQ comes around, have your ducks in a row on site inspections.
So do I need to actually keep my paperwork on the property, or as we take a look at it? And the other question I have before you answer that one, how about if I have cattle and hogs, do I need permitting for each one, and where do I keep them, and how should I organize them, and can you help me with that? Because I'm great. I mean, I can put gains on animals in a heartbeat. I couldn't hardly find my driver's license if it was in my pocket, right?
There you go. Yeah, absolutely. It all depends on ownership. Ownership's a big deal. They absolutely can have cattle and hogs on the same permit.
Okay.
Some people like to, it depends how the operations are set up. They might bring a junior back, and he owns the hog barns, and dad owns the cattle. They can permit them separately.
Is it advantageous to do it that way, or?
In some cases, yeah. Yep. So it's very case by case scenario. So, and absolutely records, to answer your question, are to be kept for 5 years. There is a lot of daily, weekly, and monthly records, and then land application, soil samples, manure samples.
Wow.
All that we have. Most guys have a 3-4 inch book of records by the time the year's over. So
that's a lot. So, but will you help me lay out the process? What do I need to do daily, weekly, monthly to make sure that I'm in compliance? Because I'm assuming there's penalties for being in non-compliance, or if there's not penalties, there's probably extra paperwork, which none of us want to do. We don't want to take the time for it.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's lots of daily stuff, water lines, precipitation, pond levels are weekly. You're supposed to do, record a pond level, or after a rain event, all that stuff. I mean, land application, how many loads go where. It's just there is a long list of records that these operations have to keep, and we sure help them at the best we can. We do have an app that
Just going to
guys
ask,
use.
can we do this online,
Absolutely.
or can we do this digitally? That I don't have to have my clipboard, paper, and got manure all over it, which would be nice to store.
Absolutely, absolutely. I work with anything from guys that love the app and use the app to guys that write stuff down in candy bar wrappers. I'll take whatever I can get, and we make it we make it usable, and we put it in our forms, and it looks good, and it's tells the story. We're trying to tell the story of how they're doing it right. So
Okay. So what if I didn't want to use like a nutrient advisors? Could I do this myself, or is it best to look at this like I'd look at my tax guy? I take all my stuff to the tax guy, and then if there's any questions, I just give him a call. He has to answer all the questions, take all the beatings. But I know some people that they want to do it all themselves, and they want to take those calls. So could you do it on your own if you wanted to?
absolutely, there are guys that are out there doing the record keeping on their own, and doing a good job. In my mind, I would sure want someone on my side, in my corner, representing me to the states, to the EPA, records, manure management wise. It's a lot to keep track of. Not everyone's an expert in agronomy, and then record keeping and paperwork.
Right.
A lot of producers, they'd rather not do the paperwork, and that's that's in our wheelhouse. So
Well, that's good to know, because as we get down this journey, we know that could be some of the stumbling blocks, especially after we get everything. We're excited. We're going to build something, and we're looking at the increased in revenue opportunities, or especially in the cash flow side. And then one thing I don't want to get tripped up is in the whole permitting process, as we know that could really drag down a project, or even bring it to a stop if it's not permitted correctly. And it could be as simple as checking a box, or not having the right plan completely filled out. So it sounds like it just makes sense to engage a company like yours to help me help myself, really, right?
absolutely, we go to all them zoning meetings that producers can't because they have chores. All them zoning, all the state meetings that are always with the changing regs. That we're keeping tabs on that stuff, and it would be hard for a producer to do. And like I said, we have a lot of experience, across different states, across different counties. We know what's worked in the past.
Okay.
So
So we know that the regs will change then.
absolutely
On a regular basis. And I assume that the state or the county would send out some kind of notice, but I get a lot of mail every day, and most of it's addressed to occupant or semi-occupant, depending on your status, I guess. But then again, you would help us with that then. So you would keep up to date on that, and if the regs change, so if I were to engage your company, say, okay, come out, help me with my paperwork. Is there a review on a regular basis? Do we sit down and go over our permitting process to make sure we're compliant, or what does that look like?
Yeah, typically we for our full service clients, we're out there every month, and we're going over records, and we're updating their books. So their books are monthly updated. They're that way when DEE calls for an inspection. We can bring the last 2 weeks of records that we need, and we're ready to go. So
that's great.
it absolutely is. Every month we're reminding, we're updating on reg changes. I mean, it's
Everybody's looking forward to that call, I'm sure. When they
Right?
see that one pop up on their phone ID, it's like, oh, I'll take that one right away.
It gives them a lot less gray hair when they have us in their corner. A lot of guys say they don't lose sleep anymore when they get that phone call. So that sure makes our job easier.
Well, that's true. It goes back to what are we good at? Not every one of us are good at everything. Like I said, as I'm a producer, I can put gains on livestock. I can have the best yield, but I may not necessarily be the best at paperwork. So, well, that's great. So tell us a little bit more about Nutrient Advisors.
Nutrient Advisors located in West Point, Nebraska. We're a full service compliance, record keeping, and nutrient management company. I guess if you want to give the office a call, number is 402-372-2236, or look us up at nutrientadvisors.com.
Excellent. Thanks, Alan. Thanks for coming by.